Hello everybody, and welcome back to Wine and Whiskey with Steve. Happy Easter Monday to everyone out there. Hope you're all enjoying your duck or your lamb or your 𝗪𝗫𝗁. But yeah, hopefully you're enjoying some good foods and you have something nice in the glass to wash that down with. And let's hope it's value in the glass. So without further ado, let's cut down to the reason why we're here, the most highly anticipated moments of the week, where we find out who is the winner for Winey Monday Night Trivia. So without further ado, here we go. Question number one. So we were dealing with grapes last week, and question number one dealt with which of the following describes a wine that was made from Cabernet Franc grapes? Where we're looking at A, green peppers and vegetable, where we're looking at B, plum, jam, and vanilla, where we're looking at C, vanilla and butter, or where we're looking at D, grapefruit and butterscotch. And the answer is, of course, it is A. So we're looking at green peppers and vegetable. So Cabernet Franc, these grapes, they tend to make wines that are light in structure. They have herbaceous qualities, especially when compared to Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon, you're going to get more of a richer style, more cassis. But in Cabernet Franc, we don't get that. It's a very light, herbaceous wine. Primarily in France. So in the Loire Valley in France, we have a wine called Chenin wine. And here the wines are very herbaceous, very earthy, and very different than Cabernet Sauvignon. So what do we have here in Ontario? In Niagara, we have the grape that shows more different characteristics than we find in the Loire. Cabernet Franc in Ontario, actually we see a lot of black raspberry coming through, which is really exciting. And it also has nice firm tannins, so it gives a good structure and it makes this wine very nice to have with a fatty protein. 𝗪𝗪𝗏 Winery, they do an exceptional job in creating a style of wine that you won't find anywhere else in the world. What they do is they take the Cabernet Franc grape and they put it through a 𝗪𝗏𝗁 style. And they do this in varying proportions. So they do this at 50% proportion. So they have 50% of the blend is a 𝗪𝗏𝗁 and the other 50% is regular Cabernet Franc. And they age this for a good amount of time in French oak. I think it's about 18 months or so in French oak. And the wine is called the apologetic red. So for you guys out there that like to make mistakes and always catch yourself apologizing for X mistakes that you've done, this is a wonderful wine to give to your partner, give to your loved one, or drink for yourself. I don't know. Apologetic red. It is pricey. It comes in at about, I think, $70 range a bottle. But I promise you that you have not tasted anything like it before. So, instead of purchasing 3 or 4 under $20 wines, it's a nice treat for yourself. This is a good time of year, Easter, maybe a birthday's coming up, Christmas. Oh, this is an awesome Christmas wine. But yeah, so definitely give this a shot, 1 bottle. And then its big brother, 100% 𝗪𝗏𝗁. Okay, so it takes a lot of time to do this style of wine, and so the 𝗪𝗏𝗁 is what they call the 100% 𝗪𝗏𝗁 style, is about $110 a bottle. Okay, so I've had the privilege of trying both, and I have a few downstairs in the cellar. They are phenomenal wines, and they are a must try. So if you don't want to buy a bottle, maybe you can visit 𝗪𝗪𝗏 Winery and do a tasting there. They do a beautiful tasting there. You can try the 𝗪𝗏𝗁, you can try the apologetic, and you can try various other wines that they do with the 𝗪𝗏𝗁 style. Okay, so thank you, Cabernet Franc. On to question number 2. Okay, question number 2. Here we're looking at Syrah grape. Okay, Petite Syrah. So which of the following likely describes wine made from Petite Syrah? A, elegant and smooth. B, light and colored. C, tropical. And D, deep colored, inky and tannic. So I think we know where we're going with this one, right? Petite Syrah, D. So this guy is very deep colored, inky and tannic. So Petite Sirah, not to be confused with regular Syrah. Petite Sirah is an important grape variety in California and frequently is blended with Zinfandel. Okay, the reason why they blend it with Zinfandel is because Zinfandel can be high alcohol, but it can also lack structure and also lacks color. So that's what the Petite Sirah is bringing here. It's bringing a little bit of added structure from the tannins, and it's also going to give it a nice dark color to it. Now, Petite Sirah, you won't find, it's very hard to find Petite Sirah by itself. I know California does a little bit of some Petite Sirah by itself. You'll find a little bit in Mexico. But yeah, it's very rare that you find Petite Sirah by itself. South Africa does a little bit of Petite Sirah by itself, but because it is so tannic, it needs to be balanced off with another grape that has maybe, you know, lower tannins, higher residual sugars in it, so it rounds off the palate a little bit more. And so beautiful examples of this, Stag's Leap. Stag's Leap. So if you want the creme de la creme of the top, you know, tête de cuvée, this guy is an awesome. He's my favorite Petite Sirah. Unfortunately, he's gone up in price over the last few years. Used to be 40 bucks. Now I think he's creeped up to $60 a bottle, but exceptionally well made. If you're looking for something more entry level, Ironstone makes a fabulous Petite Sirah. It's very ripe and jammy, but not overly jammy. Still has good structure from wood and from the tannins. So, and it's only priced at about $18, so definitely worth a try. Okay, and we're off to number 3. So number 3 here, we're looking at the Viognier grape. Okay, so what wine is going to describe this Viognier grape? Are we looking at, is it grapefruit and grass? Is it going to be blackberry and cedar, perfumey peaches, astringent, cherry plum? Answer is perfumey. Okay, perfumey peaches, orange blossom. Sometimes you get a little bit of white flower in there, but it really has this nice, you can pick up on the orange blossom. It's very floral, perfumey, very nice. So this is a grape that produces wines that are often perfumey. It's light, it's floral, hint of peaches. Quite common in white wines, especially from the Rhone region in France. In Ontario, okay, in Ontario now, Q Winery makes an outstanding Viognier Marsanne. Marsanne and Viognier are both varietals that have their origins in France, and France makes some awesome wines with those. But here in Ontario at Q, they do an exceptionally very well priced Viognier and Marsanne. I do believe the price of it is about $20 a bottle. You can't get it at the LCBO. Sometimes it'll come through vintages, so you're gonna have to take a little trip up to Q or order online and they ship to you. But it's phenomenal. You get honeysuckle, you get floral, you get peach, well integrated French oak, nice toasty brioche. It's totally awesome. Okay, and the other Viognier that is very well done again, and again in a different style, right? So Foreign Affair, again, slightly appassimento style with even their white wines. Okay, so here we have primarily Viognier, but they put a splash of Sauvignon Blanc in it, and the Sauvignon Blanc just gives it a little bit of, you know, lemon and lime zest in there, a little bit of fresh cut grass. You know, just a little bit of lighter, cleaner, crisper style. So both awesome wines, and yeah, give them a shot. They're worth it. Okay, and that brings us to question number 4. Question number 4, we're looking at pear, apple, vanilla. These guys, what are they characteristics of? Is it Pinot? Is it Viognier? Is it Chardonnay? Is it Zinfandel? I hope nobody chose Zinfandel out there. My God, if you chose Zinfandel, guys. Okay, so yeah, Chardonnay. So Chardonnay, those are the hallmark characteristics of Chardonnay. You know, Chardonnay is a very versatile grape, and how it's produced is gonna vary depending on the region where it's coming from. So you can range from your clean and crisp, you know, your unoaked Chardonnay that we would find in Chablis, or you can have the full-bodied, buttery, toasty that we would find in 𝗪𝗄𝗪. Okay, in Ontario, a couple of examples of that I've had the pleasure to recently try their new vintage of this. Creekside does a really good crisp unoaked Chardonnay. And yeah, it's got such nice acidity to it, and has also this minerality to it, which is really, really nice to see, because sometimes the Chardonnay can be overly oaked, and then you lose that very, like, the little nuances of minerality. So I was really surprised and pleased to taste that with Creekside's new vintage. So really, really nice wine, and I think it's only about $18, could even be less than that. Okay, so excellent buy. And then again, now completely different style, right? So we have 𝗪𝗪𝗶𝘆 now with their Chardonnay, using a good amount of French oak. I think they're using at least 8 months of French oak. Don't quote me on that. Sorry if I'm off by a couple of months. It's no less than 8 months for sure. But they're also doing a 𝗪𝗵𝘁 style with this as well. So drying of the Chardonnay grapes so that water evaporates, higher residual sugar, higher acid, right? It's going to lead to higher alcohol, creamier mouthfeel in the mouth. So awesome wines, both value in the glass. And yeah, so definitely worth the adventure out to that. Okay, and we're down to our last question, question number 5. We've made it to the end of round 1. Which of the following describes a wine that's made from Riesling? Riesling grape. Are we looking at, is it a fortified dessert wine? Is it grassy hints of asparagus? Is it floral peaches? Is it pineapple, coconut, and banana? Well, for this guy, hopefully everyone chose C, okay? You're gonna get very, very floral peaches, limes, and my favorite thing in Riesling is kerosene. Okay, kerosene, sometimes you get a little bit of whetstone, you get a little bit of flint in there. Now, these are only gonna present themselves when you have a Riesling that is coming from old vines and that also has time in the bottle. Okay, but primarily you're looking for that old vine Riesling. And Ontario, we make some awesome Rieslings. Okay, so Riesling is considered to be one of the world's most finest wines. This guy can age for decades, okay, for decades, because of the lower alcohol, the high acidity, and the sweetness. Okay, so whenever you're looking to age anything, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for something that's low alcohol. High alcohol won't age as well as low alcohol. You're looking for some type of residual sugars in there, because sugar is a preservative, and you're also looking for acid preserves, right? So if you can have that structure in there, then you have something that is set up to age for decades and decades, and that is what Riesling is able to do. Okay, so with Riesling, there's such a range of them. You know, you have from your dry to your sweets. A very, very classic food pairing for Riesling is Thai. Okay, now Thai food can be a little bit spicy, but Riesling is a perfect match because it has that higher residual sugar, but it also has the acid in there. So cuts right through that heat, so it's a beautiful balance. In Ontario, 2 very nice expressions of Riesling and 2 very different expressions of Riesling. And we just had this guy on Friday. We went up to Good Friday for Vineland lunch, tasted their new menu. Awesome, awesome. So this is the St. Urban Street Elevation Riesling. I think the vintage of this guy now is 2020 is what's out on the market. Price point is about $22, $23 for this guy. And with this guy, you're going to be getting, you know, that he's a young Riesling, right? 2020. So you're not going to get any of the kerosene in there, but you're going to get a lot of the floral. Okay, they get the peaches and the limes in there. So really, really well done. Nice sweetness, nice acidity, beautiful wine. Now on the other end, you have your old vine 2015 Riesling from 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗃. Here you're going to get the flint, the whetstone, kerosene. Okay, so very, very different and very acceptable price point for this guy. Very accessible at only $18 a bottle, okay, for the 2015 old vine 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗃. Okay, so that rounds out the answers. And so I know everyone was excited. How well did I do? How well did I do? Steve, when are you gonna come on and tell me how well I did? So thanks for everyone that participated in this by leaving your comments below and your answers below. We did have a couple of viewers that I guess were a little bit timid for doing that, and they sent an email to wineandwhiskey@gmail.com. Totally fine. If you don't want to put yourself out there in the comments and you want to send me the emails, that's okay. That's okay. You know, everyone wants to do well, everyone wants to pass, right? So sometimes when we fail in public, it hurts. But so shout out now to our 2 winners of the week. So each one will get 1 point each as we move toward our monthly total to see who is the king or queen of Winey Monday Night Trivia. So Michael Marino, thank you for your perfect score. And Miles Carlisle, thank you as well for your perfect score. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. And without further ado, I will cheers you with value in the glass for sure. If you remember this episode with the Sangiovese, good Lord, man. Tizzo Nero, $17, $18, 2016, incredible buy. Okay, guys, as always, tell me what's in your glass. Let's keep the wine dialogue going, okay? And cheers to value in the glass.